I've heard this very cruel phrase that is being thrown at parents. Would you rather have a trans child or a dead child? And I cannot think of anything more cruel to say to a parent who is confused, wants their child to be happy, sees that their child is suffering, and is seeking the advice of a clinician, of someone who is certified and has worked and researched this field. And what they are being fed is a very, very dangerous ideology that distorts reality. It's a collective social delusion. And the consequences, the physical consequences, are dire. I think that this idea that we are telling children that they can change their sex is wrong. It is false, because what they really can do is they can sterilize themselves. They can turn themselves into asexual beings. If you take puberty blockers, your reproductive system isn't going to develop, and even your sexual desire. And these surgeries I can't find another word other than they create a disabled person. They have a high risk of infection, of complications. You need to take hormones for the rest of your life. You don't actually change into the other sex. You undergo this genital mutilation, this really, really awful process. So tell us a little bit about what happens in these gender clinics.
So what happens when you go to a gender affirming clinic, which in more and more countries is the only sort of way that a therapist is allowed to practice, is that as soon as a child says, I understand myself to be trans, in any form of words you might imagine, I feel I'm genderqueer, I feel I'm gender fluid, I think I'm non-binary, I know that I was really meant to be a boy, any of those words, all they hear is, you're right. It's back to this thin identity that is just self-created and self-stated, rather than being something that's actually about the connection that you have with other people. And then that is affirmed. A good therapist affirms the situation that their client feels themselves to be in, affirms their feelings by saying, I hear that you can feel like that, you're feeling that, I hear this is important to you, let's unpack it. Gender affirmation is, no, you really are a boy. That's right. A girl who says she's a boy really is a boy. No questioning. Anyone who disagrees with them, including the parents, is positioned as somebody who hates that child, wants that child dead. Now, I've heard too many stories to repeat now about therapists meeting a child for the first time and saying to that child in front of the parents, yes, you are what you say you are, and anyone who disagrees with you, and you need puberty blockers or else you'll kill yourself. Like telling the children, coaching them in suicide, this really is happening. And so instead of helping, they're harming. I mean, I would not under any circumstances bring a child, if I had anything to do with it, anywhere near any of these people, because they will only make it worse, which of course leaves you on your own. And on your own against a culture that is telling your child lies in school curricula, in reading materials, online, in government edicts. So you're really on your own, I think, more than parents have ever been before, about trying to deal with a societally created problem.